Islamic thing, would that be wrong? Or is his intention sincerely not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anymore?
Question says, with regards to taking money for a lecture, is something wrong? Sheikh Abdul Aziz ibn Abdullah ibn Baz, rahimahullah, when he was asked this question, he said there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with the student of knowledge, the alim, the talib al-ilm, to be given something min bayt mal al-muslimin, from the treasury of the Muslims. Living in America, there is no baytul mal. And some people say there's no baytul mal in the Muslim world at all. Some people, they say that. There's no such thing. It doesn't exist anymore. However, the closest thing to baytul mal, the treasury of the Muslims, would be the masjid or the center. Everybody understand this? Where that's the closest thing of a body of government. Not saying that it is government. It says that's the closest thing. Everybody understand this? So therefore, there's a talib al-ilm who studies, he teaches the people, he frees himself for the service of others. Obviously, he has to survive. He has to live. He has to take care of himself. If he doesn't eat and drink, he can't study. And if he can't study, he can't teach. And if he doesn't teach, then we will be what? Lost. So they say it's a necessity for us to not only give him gifts, but to give him a stipend, because he has to work. But if he's working for 8 hours out the day, 7 hours out the day, so on and so forth, there's no time for hifd. There's no time for revision, let alone preparing in class, preparing khutbahs, let alone the fact of just being available. Your phone, Adam, being available. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Adam. Me and my wife got into an argument. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Adam, kada. Sheikh Adam, kada. We need you to be what? Open. We need a hotline. But my phone is off because I'm working. My phone is off because I'm doing here. I'm traveling, buying and selling. I'm seeking risk. Everybody understand this? So in brief, Sheikh Abdul Aziz ibn Baz, he said there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing what? It's nothing wrong with that, because he's mutafarriq lil-ilm. He's freed himself for knowledge. And the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Sheikh, he quoted the hadith, إِنَّ أَحَقَ مَا أَخَذْتُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا كِتَابَ اللَّهِ. The authentic hadith, Abdullah ibn Abbas narrating, Sahih Bukhari, the thing that is most worthy for money to be taken is the book of Allah. A service. I pay you for my good service, or your good service, because you did a good job. You're bringing me the what? The Quran. I'm not asking for it. I'm not begging for it. I'm not stipulating it, but I'm giving it to you. Tilka ajil bushra al-mu'min. Everybody clear on this? So this is the fatwa of Sheikh bin Baz and many other ulama with regards to students of knowledge. Now, let's get out of the fatwa of Sheikh bin Baz. Talk about America. Is it permissible for me to stipulate how much money you're going to pay me? For me to do a khutbah in this masjid, I need no less than $1,000 for one khutbah. I need no less, it gets higher than that. I get no, or let's say low scale, $500 for one khutbah. I'm stipulating it. Sheikh Adam, can you please come to our center and do a khutbah? La bas, but you have to pay me $500 honorarium. You have to pay for gas, tolls, and food. Everybody understand this? If you agree to this, la bas, I'll come and I'll give you a khutbah. If you agree to me, you pay me this $1,000, I'll come for the weekend, hotel, food, rent a car, etc. La bas. Is that permissible or is that haram? Let's look at it from both sides now. One side says this is clearly haram because you're using the Quran, you're using knowledge just to eat. Thamanan qalila, a low base price. The Quran is honorable. The Quran is not to be disrespected like this. You're not to take your knowledge that should be sought for the face of Allah and using it for the dunya. This is haram, you can't do that. Say? And then another side, they say, I've went to the markaz, the dawah center, I've been to the masjids, I was there for 3 days. I gave them classes, I answered the personal questions, I gave the khutbah, my children, my wife, they're all in another state, home, waiting for me. And at the end of the 3 days, they say, Jazakallah khair, Sheikh Adam, Barakallah Feek, shukran for coming, we thank you so much, have a nice flight back. Everybody understand this? So you spend 3 days, time, effort, energy, your children, your family, and you go back empty-handed. And what did they do? They drained every single ounce of knowledge out of you for those 3 days. Khutbah class, after Fajr, the answers, and you go back empty-handed. So he may say, or his friend may say, you're being used. They're taking advantage of you. Everybody understand this? They raised thousands of dollars because of your conference and they didn't give you anything. They didn't give you a gift, the honorarium, nothing. They send you back and they make dua for you. In other words, you can't just rely on them giving you something. You can't just rely on them as good Muslims. But you have to make sure before you leave your home, leave your city, leave your town, go to all of those, we have to have an agreement. Because I don't want to go to your masjid and I don't want to ask for no money. The knowledge is for Allah and they leave me with nothing. I can't do that. I can't live like that. If I go to buy Pampers for my daughter, Pampers cost money. My wife needs shoes, shoes cost money. I can't live off of free. I can't say Jazakallah khairan to my landlord. So they say there's nothing wrong with stipulating it and making a contract because it's ijara. You're actually renting me out. For 3 days, I'm your guest, I'm your speaker, I'm your teacher, I'm your imam. And you have to recompensate me for my services. If you pay me $5,000, $1,000, $500, no matter what you give me, it is totally unequal to what I'm giving you. In 3 days, I give life to your community by Allah's permission. I teach, I explain, I remind. This petty few dollar bills you give me is what? Nothing. But it's a means of respect, a token of honor, and it's also compensating you for your needs and necessities. And if you don't stipulate, then the Muslims, unfortunately, will take advantage of you and they will rape you in your time. So this is another way of what? Of looking at it. Obviously, stipulating the money is harmful. It's dangerous. It can have an effect upon your niyyah, without a doubt. Obviously, not stipulating the money, not stipulating the contract is harmful and dangerous as well. And you will be taken advantage of and used. The best affairs are what? Those are what? In the middle. So if someone invites you to the masjid, I would advise you, don't stipulate. Don't stipulate. That's first and foremost. Don't stipulate. If someone invites you to be the imam of the masjid, that's a different story. Because an imam is a job. It's one of the most difficult jobs if you only but knew. One brother says, you don't work, Mufti? He says, you don't have a real job? He said, I have to go to work in the morning. He said, I have a boss whipping my back. He said, you don't have a job. You just get on the minbar, give a khutbah, and that's it. The brother doesn't know the stress, the worries, the fear of hypocrisy. I have to get on the minbar every single week. This week, I'm tired. I'm stressed. This sin, this problem, I don't feel like giving a khutbah, for example, dhafir, I may say. But what do I have to do? 1 p.m. the people in the masjid sitting waiting for who? Sheikh Mufti. You know what type of stress that is? You know what type of responsibility that is? I can remember I say, I don't feel like telling the people to fear Allah, and I myself, I'm a munafiq, mathalan. It's serious. So you being an imam is a full-time job. Let alone a brother calling your phone, Assalamu alaikum Mufti, I know it's late, but I have a question. Assalamu alaikum Sheikh, I know you're on your day off, but I have a question. Assalamu alaikum Sheikh, I know you're with your family, but I have a question. Assalamu alaikum Sheikh, I know that you're busy, but I have a question. Everybody understand this is reality. So you giving yourself to the people as a teacher, as an imam, that's not the same as you coming as a guest. There's a difference. A guest, I wouldn't stipulate. But someone is requiring you to be here from this time to that time. You have to do this. Make sure the khutbah's like this. Make sure the classes are like that. Marriage counseling, kada wa kada, that's amal. And there's nothing wrong with ta'aqud in that situation. There's nothing wrong with what? Ta'aqud in that situation. Last but not least, a piece of advice is that you should have a good brother, whether it's Umar, a good friend of yours, who doesn't do what you do, who doesn't have to be shy. And he hasn't have no worries about the dunya affecting his niyyah. Umar radiallahu anhu is a doctor. He has money, alhamdulillah. He's your friend. And he tells the people at the masjid, listen, he speak to me, Ya akhi, Mufti, this is Sheikh Adam. He studied in Egypt. He studied here. He's memorized this, kada wa kada. He's not going to ask you for money. He's too shy. He doesn't want his intentions to be messed up. But it's haram for Adam to go out there, spend 3 days, spend a week, and go home empty-handed. So I need you to make sure that you take care of his accommodation. You have a stack agent. A what? A stack agent. Schedule, transportation, accommodation, compensation. STAC. Those are the 4 things that Umar is to take care of. Everybody understand this? You yourself shouldn't be dealing with dates. You shouldn't be looking at a calendar like I have to do. Hey, no, Umar's supposed to do that for you. Your job is to read this. That's it. Faqat. To sit all day, what, dhafir? And read that. That's it. Study, review, revise, prepare. Be sharp. Umar deals with, he calls you, Salam, today you're at this masjid. Next week you're in Canada. Next week you're there. Next week you're there. That's his job. Next, transportation. You shouldn't have to get on the phone and say, Assalamu alaikum, I need a ticket, first class, kada, I'm leaving from JFK, LaGuardia. La. That's stressful. That's not your expertise. You may be too humble to say, I have to travel with a companion. And the masjid or the center, they may try to, cheat out your money. Oh, well, we don't have it. We can't pay for another ticket. That's kadhib. It's a lie. They have the money to pay for a companion. Come from the United States to Canada, or from New York to California just by yourself. We can't pay for a companion. No, Omar handles that. If you want Sheikh Adam to come, then he has to do what? Buy 2 tickets. Next is the accommodations. You shouldn't be going to the hotel. My name is Adam such and such. Oh, where's the hotel? I need ice. I need another bed. This bed has, no, that's Omar's job. He's to handle that for you. And last but not least, the compensation. You cannot give him no less than thousands of dollars. He's not a scholar for dollars. He's not selling his soul, but this is the least that you can give him because he's bringing you pure, raw, organic, uncut ilm. And you have to respect the fact that he was in Egypt for 10 years. You have to respect the fact that he's memorized these qira'at. You have to respect the fact of he's bringing you high caliber of ilm. But you shouldn't have to worry about that. أخذت الفائدة؟ Wallahu a'lam. Malish, I know that was a very long answer, but I feel that it's needed because many people, they have a misunderstanding. And some students of knowledge, wallahi, we've seen them work in Walmart or work in IKEA, wallahi, or work in a hospital, or work here, work there. And they say, I don't want to take anything from the masjid. I don't want to take nothing from the center. I don't want to live off the people's donations. Or a woman, she may say, you don't have a real job. You're an imam, you're student knowledge, that's not a real job. We need a real job. We need pay stubs, even if it's less money than the masjid. So therefore, he was in Egypt for those 10 years or 20 years or 15 years, and he's wasting his time in IKEA and Burger King. This guy's memorized the entire Quran in more than one mode recitation, and he's working with kuffar all day, listening to music. Wallahi khasara. Is that not a waste, Umar? It's a total waste. So many people, they feel and they think that it's haram to take the money. I can't take the money. It's bad to take the money. Maybe it is. But now you're totally outside of the realm of ilm. And you being a talib al-ilm, an imam, a sheikh, a scholar, a qadi, residential scholar, whatever you want to call them, then people are paying you to get good deeds. You're getting paid and taken care of to study, to make review, to get hasanat. What's better, doing that or working at Walmart? Stacking shelves with haram things, women with tight jeans, music, homosexuals, people passing by you. And you were in Egypt for all of those years. It's a waste. And it's also disrespect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's ni'mah. Everybody understand this? Wallahu a'lam. هذا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك جزاكم الله خيرا. معلش طولنا في الجواب. لا تنسى عمر كم حرف؟ 4. أيوه.